Have you ever walked into a room and instantly known that two people were secretly mad at each other, even though they were both smiling? Or maybe you notice when a friend's texting style changes just slightly, and you know exactly what it means. If you are someone who notices absolutely everything, society has probably given you a few labels. They call you paranoid. They tell you that you're overthinking. They say you read too much into things. But according to psychology, you are not crazy. Stay with me, because what I am about to tell you will completely change how you view your own mind. Your ability to notice micro details is not a flaw. It is actually an incredibly powerful evolutionary advantage. Let's start with what is actually happening inside your brain. Most people walk through life on autopilot. They hear the words people say, and they take them at face value. But your brain doesn't work that way. Psychologists refer to this trait as high sensory processing sensitivity. Your nervous system is literally wired to pick up on subtleties that 80% of the population misses. While someone else is just listening to a conversation, you are analyzing their body language, their eye contact, the slight shift in their vocal tone, and the exact pause they took before answering a question. You are a human lie detector. And this goes back thousands of years. From an evolutionary standpoint, noticing everything kept you alive. The ancestors who noticed the slight change in the wind or the subtle rustle in the tall grass survived. The ones who didn't pay attention, they didn't make it. Your highly observant nature is a biological survival mechanism called hyper-vigilance. But in the modern world, you aren't looking for predators in the jungle. You are looking for psychological threats. You are scanning the room to see who is safe, who is lying, and who is pretending to be something they are not. And let's be completely honest, seeing everything can be exhausting. There is a psychological concept known as cognitive load. Because you are constantly absorbing data, your brain is processing 10 times more information than the average person standing next to you. This explains the social hangover. Have you ever come home from a party or a family gathering and you felt physically and mentally destroyed? You didn't do any physical labor, but you feel like you just ran a marathon. That is your brain crashing from data overload. You didn't just attend the party. You subconsciously process the mood of every single person in that room. But here is where this trait becomes your absolute biggest advantage. Malcolm Gladwell famously wrote about a concept called thin slicing. Thin slicing is the ability of our unconscious mind to find patterns in situations and behavior based on very narrow slices of experience. Because you notice so many details, your brain is a pattern recognition machine. You can meet someone for 5 minutes and have an incredibly accurate read on their entire personality. People might call you judgmental, but you usually end up being right. How many times have you warned your friends about a toxic person, they didn't listen to you, and 6 months later, everything you predicted came completely true? It's not magic, it's math. Your brain calculated the micro-expressions, the inconsistencies in their stories, and gave you a highly accurate conclusion. This makes highly observant people incredibly difficult to manipulate. Narcissists and manipulators absolutely hate people like you. They rely on the fact that most people only listen to the words they say. But you don't listen to just words. You watch their actions. You see the gap between what they claim and what they actually do. This is exactly why people who notice everything tend to have very small, very tight circles of friends. You don't have the pretending not to see the truth is too mentally exhausting for you. But there is another side to this. Your high observation skills make you one of the most empathetic people on the planet. You notice when the quiet person in the group gets interrupted, and you make sure to bring the focus back to them. You notice when someone smiles, but their eyes look incredibly sad. You remember the small details that people casually mentioned months ago, and you surprise them by bringing it up. People feel deeply seen and understood when they are around you, because you actually pay attention. In a world full of people waiting for their turn to speak, you are the one actually listening. This brings us to a really interesting social dynamic. Highly observant people are often very quiet in large groups, and society assumes that quiet means shy, but that couldn't be further from the truth. You aren't quiet because you are scared. You are quiet because you are gathering data. The loudest person in the room is usually the one who is the least aware of their surroundings. They are broadcasting, not receiving, but you are in receiving mode. You are mapping out the dynamics, understanding the hierarchy, and figuring out how everything works. This is what we call the silent genius archetype. Because when you finally do speak, people listen. You don't waste words on meaningless chatter. When you offer an insight or a solution, it is backed by thousands of micro-observations. But we also need to talk about the dark side of noticing everything. Sometimes your brain connects dots that aren't actually there. Because you are so used to finding patterns, your brain can easily fall into the trap of overanalyzing a situation. A delayed text message might just mean they are busy, but your brain starts analyzing all the possible negative reasons. This is why establishing boundaries with your own mind is crucial. You have to learn how to zoom out. Just because you notice a shift in energy doesn't mean it is your responsibility to fix it. Not every mood change is about you. Learning to see everything without reacting to everything is the ultimate form of emotional maturity. So, what is the final takeaway? The next time someone tells you that you are overthinking or that you are too sensitive, you don't need to apologize. Your brain is functioning at an incredibly high level of awareness. You possess the rare ability to see the world exactly as it is, not just how people pretend it to be. You are not broken. You are not paranoid. You are just playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. If this video completely resonated with you, you are probably going to love understanding why highly observant people often prefer to be completely alone. Click the video on your screen right now to discover the hidden psychology behind the joy of solitude.